Hello and welcome to my series 7 Secrets for a Successful Wardrobe. This is secret number 6. Be flexible. The first area in which I'd like you to be flexible is in terms of sizes. Now, there is no real law here. You can find within one particular label that you can wear a 10, a 12 or a 14. But what I would say is, please ignore size labels. You use them as a guide, obviously, when you go to pick out what you're going to try on, but don't ever reject an item of clothing because you think the size inside the label is too big or too small for you. If you're really worried by it, just cut it out. But don't feel bad about the fact that you may be a size 14 in one particular brand and you could swear that you're only a 12, because in fact retailers are changing their measurements the whole time, and sadly there is no way the continuity even within a single brand that there should be. The most important thing is that that item of clothing looks perfect on you and fits you perfectly regardless of its size. I think the second aspect of flexibility is an understanding that fashion etiquette is changing all the time, and there are all kinds of fashion rules that we have swept away over the years. For example, pearls are just for grandmas. Pearls are one of the most stylish items of jewellery that you can wear these days, and they give a real sense of class to an outfit. Another piece of etiquette that's changed is women over 25 should never wear denim. Now, that's an absolute nonsense, because there are all kinds of wonderful shapes and styles and sizes in denim these days, and even deep jeans that are specially designed for the, in inverted commas, older woman, not your daughter's jeans. I mean, that says it all. So there's really no way that you should discount wearing denim just because you're over 25. I think again it's the fit and the cut that's really important. Another thing that quite often clients say to me is, I can't possibly wear leggings. Leggings are for young girls. I can't possibly wear leggings. And again, this obviously depends on your body shape. It's an understanding your body shape. However, I would suggest that most people can wear leggings. Most people may not choose to wear the very fine leggings that just look like a pair of tights, but I think a pair of slightly thicker leggings, or as they're now called, treggings or jeggings, can look perfect on a slightly older or a slightly bigger person when they're worn with, for example, a pair of flat pumps or tucked into a pair of boots the same colour, with a very plain, straightforward tunic, or something in the winter, or some sort of a caftan, or some sort of very flattering sweater worn over the top. But I think if you were to say to yourself, well, I can't possibly wear jeggings or leggings because I'm too fat or I'm too old, that would be really unreasonable. It would be such a pity. The other thing that's happened over the years is there is much more freedom in terms of mixing and matching fabrics. So allow yourself to be a bit more interesting, really. There was a time when we would always wear our black skirt with the jacket in exactly the same fabric. But nowadays it's considered much more interesting to mix and match fabrics. So for example, it's a great idea to match a lacy skirt with a woolly sweater. It's a great idea to match a pair of jeans with a very formal silky shirt. So you can mix and match fabrics. But also what you can do is you can mix and match looks. So you can take something which is a very casual piece. So for example, Dame Helen Mirren, my idol, turned up to premiere some time ago wearing the most fantastic full-length African print maxi skirt, but it was a maxi dress, it was an evening dress. So she turned up wearing a brilliant, beautiful browns and golds evening dress, and over that she wore a leather biker jacket, and that made her look young, but it made her look interesting. It didn't make her look fuddy-duddy. She didn't look like she was, in inverted commas, as if Dame Helen Mirren ever could, but it didn't make her look, in inverted commas, mutton dressed as lamb, because the dress was the most perfect shape. but she obviously felt that for this particular event, it was quite an informal premiere, and she obviously felt that the dress maybe was a tad formal, and so just to dress it down, she put over it a leather jacket. So do think about that. Do think about mixing and matching looks. Another aspect of wardrobe etiquette that's changed is what's acceptable to wear on various occasions, and in particular on special occasions. There was a time when one would always assume that you could never wear white to a wedding, which is just not the case anymore, and certainly that you would never wear black to a wedding. And while I probably wouldn't advocate wearing head-to-toe black to a wedding, because I think you'd look a bit like a goth, and it is meant to be a joyous occasion, I think that there's no problem at all with wearing black, highlighted with a gorgeous hat or gorgeous shoes and bag or a shawl or a stole or a jacket in a bright colour to contrast with that. So I think there have been some changes in that respect. And I think there's also been changes in terms of what's acceptable to wear for work. Of course, your work outfit depends entirely on what is acceptable and what the inverted commas uniform is at work. But I think that there was a time that you would never ever think of going to work in anything that had any kind of a glitz or any kind of ornamentation on it. And I think actually that's changed a bit depending on obviously the sector you work in. You have to know your market and you have to know your audience. But I think that there is an opportunity within the workplace for us not to be quite as boring as perhaps we have been in the past. Some would say that actually that's what's wrong, and some people are not very happy about that. But I think it all boils down to what is the ethos of everything we do. If you have clothes that fit perfectly, which match your personality, and which are fit for purpose, i.e. are appropriate for what you're doing, then I think that sometimes you can afford to be a little bit more adventurous. And finally, I think you can also be a bit more flexible in terms of your colour combinations. And we can wear two different blacks together. We could wear, now it's great to wear navy, for example, with dark brown, brown with black, navy with black, orange with perhaps fuchsia pink, even red with orange or red with fuchsia pink, providing you're feeling confident, and of course that your colouring allows this. We keep going back to the same thing, which is experiment and be interesting, but make sure that it suits you.